Alright, another Big Dave DIY. This one is changing the low beam headlight bulbs on a 2005 Honda CR-V. So, let's take a look at the headlight here. We got our low beam, high beam, and our blinkers. We're going to be changing our low beams. And our low beams take these H1 bulbs. Now, let me focus in here. Now, these bulbs are a little bit different from what the 04s or the 02s to 04 CR-Vs take. I believe they take either H2s or the H4s, I'm not sure, but if you notice, these have one prong. They actually plug into a terminal, which is two prongs, and that terminal plugs into, or there is a electrical plug that plugs into the back of that terminal. So we're going to go ahead and get started. As you can see, there's a rubber boot covering that to protect it from moisture, and there is a plug which you just pull straight back on. Wiggle it back and forth if it's on there fairly tight. Pull back on it, and then we'll pull this boot off by tugging on these tabs, kind of wiggling it back and forth. That boot will pull straight off. Okay, let's go ahead and get our electrical connector. So you just pull straight back on it. Slide right out. Put her aside. The boot. Pull on these tabs. Maybe peel back with your thumb a little bit, because it doesn't always come straight out like you want it to. There we go. Give it a little wiggle. There is your rubber boot. Okay, now that we got that out, here comes the fun part. There is a retaining clip that is holding the bulb in place, keeping it from falling out at the time being. Right now you can't see it, so you got to do it completely by feel. I'll reach in there. The clip is actually on the top. You got your bottom, you got your two sides, and you got your top. And you push back on it. Let's see. Not too much force. Push back on it, kind of push it to my right here. And the whole thing, the retaining clip, it swivels downward. Bulb comes right out. Let's make sure we remember the orientation of this bulb, which way is up, which way is down, and this white terminal here that your actual bulb plugs into. Alright, so it's fairly simple at this point. This bulb disconnects from this white terminal with the two prongs. The bulb itself is one prong. Make sure you get the orientation right. See, it's flat on the right hand side. This is the way it's going to be going back in the housing this way. So, looking at it from this direction, going back into its housing this way from the inside, we got a little flat piece on the bottom right, and then we got the little flaps on the sides here. So I'm going to pull this bulb out and go ahead and set them in the terminals. Set the new bulbs in the terminals. Here are the bulbs in the terminals separated. 2-prong terminal, 1-prong bulb. I'm just using the lesser expensive Sylvania H1s. Make sure on the 2005 CRVs you use H1s. You're going to use a different style that is 3-prong for 02 to 04 in this generation of CRV. The 05s and up, or the 05s and the 06s, I know for sure use these H1s. So you want to keep it the same. See if I can get this situated in here. To get a view of the housing. And the clip. So as you can see there's the clip in the housing, and that clip actually lifts up like a door hinge. Lifts up and snaps back in place. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall our bulb. Careful not to touch the bulb with your fingers, as the oils on your fingers will cause the bulb to burn out prematurely. So careful with that. Use gloves if you have to. I would use some kind of fibrous glove, no rubber gloves. Alright, so we got our new bulb back in our terminal, our 2-prong terminal here. Have not touched the bulb, and we're going to resituate our bulb back in its housing. Alright. Lift up on your retaining clip as you're trying to put this back into place. There it is. If it doesn't give you hell. There. Clipped it back into place. There's no movement on the bulb, so it's clipped. Actually, there is a little notch on the, you can see here on the right hand side. I actually felt of the notch, and you can push back on the retaining clip and kind of pull to the right just a little bit, and it'll wrap around that clip and it'll stay in place. Boot goes back on just like this. So resituate this by pushing it back into place. A little effort, we'll get it back, we'll persuade it to get back on there. So push on the outsides and the insides where the leads are. Now, time for the electrical connector. And there you have it. We've got a low beam replacement on a 2005 Honda CR-V. Like I mentioned before, keep in mind these bulbs are a different style from the same generation CR-V 2002 to 2004. Those particular years use 3-prong plugs, and they do not have a terminal. So look for H1s. Let's check out our headlights. Success. There you go. That's how you change your low beam headlights on a 2005 Honda CR-V. Incidentally, the H1s also go in the slot where your high beams sit. So if you have a high beam go out, same procedure, and the same bulb type. So hope you enjoyed. Hopefully it helps you with your next project, and please don't forget to subscribe. You've watched another Big 2000 Dave DIY. Until next time, have a good day.